Hey, what's up everybody? Tuning into my video. I'm gonna make this a little personal. There's not so much going into the Urantia book like I did with the other one. The other one was just a brief thing about how I feel about the Urantia book and what's my take on it. But this one is for you guys who are interested in how I came across this book. Will I relate to you guys? I don't fucking know. I already told you in my last video that, I have a drug history and I was an alcoholic for a good amount of time. And so, it's just my spiritual progress. It's a little bit of everything that I have taken in that has helped me be the man who I am now. I have a kid and I have a wife and I have a place to stay and I got a job and I got a car. My life is pretty stable. So, yeah, just to let you guys know. But this is just how I came. This video is about how I come across the Urantia book. Now, I was 19, and I was also 20 when I was working in construction field. And there's this agency. I'm not going to say the name of it, but it acts as an agency, and it was sending me throughout all these fields. And along the road, I came across this white boy. He was taller than me. He was about like 4, maybe 5 years the elder, right? So here we are. We're getting along. We're talking we were talking for hours, and this guy was all about politics. He was telling me about his alien encounters and the supernatural experiences that he was coming across from random places, like while he would be hiking or at his place or at a friend's house. So he would go on and on and on and on, and I'm the type of person, and I still am. I love hearing stories. And me myself, I've had, or at least I thought I had, some supernatural experiences in the past. So we're related on a lot of levels. And he had mentioned at one point, for like a brief moment, he had mentioned about the Urantia book and what it was about, and I was just like, what? Like, what? Cool. And then his buddy comes along, and this happens to be like on a given, just on a magical day, right? And I'm gonna tell you this why. It was really weird how this whole thing somehow mysteriously was set up. I was at the office and I was picking up my check. My buddy comes in at around the same time. He picks up his check, right? Now his friend comes in just shortly after we had received our checks in our hands, and we're talking. His friend walks through that glass door, talks to my buddy. They have a little like a really quick conversation for like a minute, and that's when I chime in. And what I was saying was how I'm also into like the whole supernatural clairvoyancy and the whole alien thing, and like I was just letting the other guy know, like, because he was also part of it too. So I'm letting him know because I wanted to connect. But when I mentioned about the Urantia book and how I wanted to get a hold of it because I'm curious about it, then he looks at me, he goes, wait, who told you about the Urantia book? And I looked at my buddy, and he looks at my buddy, because I made that look. I turned to him, and he looks at him now, and it got serious. Like the whole room just stopped for a quick second in dead silence, and he looks at my friend, and he says, did you tell him about the Urantia book? With that just mean, he was wearing his shades on. It was just that mean look. Come on. So my guy looked at him like, like he dropped the ball, right? But what that guy was telling me was, before what he's, Mamas, can you go over there in the living room, please? Go play with that. Please, go play with it. I have my daughter right here. Go play with that, please. You have toys in the living room. I'll be over there with you. So that guy was telling me to be very careful when I get a hold of that book. So he went on he briefly told me this, and it was like a really like firm warning. He said, "Look, that book is really heavy. Okay, like don't go around telling everybody about that book because, I mean, one, if it's a really powerful book, okay, it's not secretive at all. It does contain a lot of information that you need to know. Two, you can't go around telling people about this because it's people are not ready for it. You know, people will feel like it's going to replace something that they've been holding on traditionally, or something that's been valuable to them for so long. You know, that it does entail some tradition into it. But and I didn't know what he meant. I was a goofball. I really 5 minutes and 30. Okay. I really wanted to look into it, and then finally I did. And the way I got a hold of it was I went to the library, and they only had 2 copies in there, and so I borrowed one for 2 weeks. That's just the way our library system goes over here. And the first thing I wanted to read up on was the whole Lucifer thing, you know, because I don't think the Bible. That's how I felt like. I felt like the Bible painted this really nasty picture, or was just creating a devil or whatever, right? But the Urantia book was telling a very eloquent story about who and how Lucifer was in the beginning and how he became the devil. Then I find out that Lucifer and Satan are 2 completely different entities. I mean, they were together at some point, but they were 2 different individuals, their own individual. And so then it goes on about all the other stuff that happened after that and how it retarded our early civilization, our ancestors. So from there, I moved on to the whole Adam and Eve thing, and that was a whole different experience. Okay, if you have read the Adam and Eve part from like that very first paragraph, you're like, what kind of sci-fi shit is this? Like, it just throws you off completely. And at least that's how I felt, because you know, you're trying to compare metal to apples. It's like, how is this? This is completely different than from what I remember from the Bible. So, oh yeah. So that's how I came across the book. And I say that because I'm telling you all this because, like, I'm not afraid of telling you how my experience. I'm not afraid of telling you who and how who I was as a person back then when I was coming up as a young adult, or even before that when I was 16, 17 years old. Like, I wanted to get into the whole meditation thing. Like, I thought I was seeing ghosts in the house that you know my mom had for all of us living as kids, you know, and that experience will never go away, but I cannot talk about it with other people. So if this is the kind of experience or background that you may have, cool. Hey, you know, if you want to relate to me, fine. Like, that's perfect. And I'm not going to dog you out for it either, you know, because I got some trippy shit that I would love to talk about to other people who may not really understand. But I mean, if I know I have one so far, and you know who you are. All I have to say is aliens. You know who you are. You know, and I can relate. I may not have a wicked story like some of you guys may have about trippy shit like that. You know, some of you guys may have like knowledge on witchcraft. I would love to hear about it. Some of you guys may have knowledge on the whole satanic thing. I would love to hear about that too. If you have a Muslim background and you know some really crazy shit, tell me about it. I would love to hear about it. You know, but I'm gonna let you guys know. You know, Urantia book is my baby now. That's my go-to book now. It used to be philosophy books. It used to be self-help books. It used to be the Bible. It used to be the Dead Sea Scrolls and a little bit of the Quran and some of the Kabbalah. You know, it used to be all those. I used to read those books, but now I'm only sticking with just one book. And once in a while, I'll go back to reading like this Dead Sea Scrolls just for fun, just so I can see how I can understand the history. And this is what the Urantia book is helping me with, is that there's a lot of things in that book that you probably may not understand, but try looking at it in a different perspective. Because what helped me read the book even more was, like, for example, right now I'm on paper 100 after reading the whole Jesus thing, right? All the way towards the end, from the pre-bestowal all the way to the very end. Okay, I went back and I started with paper 96. Okay, because now this time I'm interested about reading on Moses and the Egyptians and those who have escaped as slaves to become the Hebrews, and what the names of God really meant during that time. So, before all this, I was able to read it and I just couldn't understand none of it because the book was so damn heavy, or at least I thought so. Okay, but when you start looking at it from a different perspective, like how about reading it from a historical point of view? Would you be interested in knowing how things were back then? Okay, don't worry about the words. You can catch on to it as soon as you keep on reading. Don't worry about it. Eventually the book will explain a little bit more if you just hang in there, okay? Don't be like me, who just fucking jumps the gun the first 2 paragraphs. I'm like, fuck this shit. I don't understand this damn book. Put the shit away. I'll read it maybe like tomorrow, and then tomorrow is like 5 years later down the road, and the book is on the shelf like all dusty as shit. So, but hang in there. Just start somewhere. Ask a question. Ask a question and see if the Urantia book can be able to assist you with that, because it has a lot of information. Okay, and it may not give you what you want. Okay, but just keep on reading. The more you read, the more it makes sense. Okay, like, just start with anything. Okay, that's just my suggestion. It's not a recommendation. It's not me telling you to go fucking do the shit. It's just that's just a tip. Okay, take it if you want it. Take it or leave it. Well, anyways, guys, I want to make this video as brief as I could. The last couple videos, I just fuck. I think I made it too long, because I know YouTube. If I go over 15 minutes, my account will not upload a long video onto YouTube. Sorry, guys! But I'm going to have to stop here, and thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And again, if you want to reach out to me, just drop a comment on the comment box. Let me know if you want to reach out to me, and I'll get back to you whenever I can, alright? Peace.